Archaeologist Luigi Pernier had no idea he was about to discover the most mysterious artifact in history that hot July day in 1908. He wiped the sweat from his brow as he surveyed the ruins sprawling before him under the merciless Mediterranean sun. The young Italian archaeologist had been digging for weeks at the Minoan palace complex of Phaistos on the Greek island of Crete, hoping to uncover artifacts that would shed light on this enigmatic ancient civilization. His team of local laborers had been excavating the basement storerooms on the northeast side of the palace. The rooms had yielded an abundance of ceramics, bronze tools, and clay tablets with the curious linear A script that had yet to be deciphered. But today, something caught Pernier's eye that made his heart race. There, amidst the rubble, was a small, round, fired clay disc about 6 inches in diameter. Both sides were covered with a spiral of strange stamped symbols, arranged in groups divided by vertical lines. With hands trembling, Pernier brushed off the clinging dirt and held the disc up to the light. He had never seen anything like it. The 45 unique symbols seemed to include pictograms of a man's head, a fish, a plumed head, a shield, a club, and more. It was like no writing system he had ever encountered. Pernier immediately understood the significance of what he held in his hands. This was an incredible one-of-a-kind find, an ancient medallion containing some form of coded script. But what did it say? He would have to study it back in his workshop to determine if there were any clues to its decipherment. With World War I about to erupt across Europe, Pernier departed Crete, not knowing it would be 3 decades before anyone attempted to unravel the secrets of the disc that would come to bear the name of Phaistos, the ancient city where it was unearthed on that fateful summer day. The Phaistos Disc is the most famous mystery from the Minoan civilization, the enigmatic Bronze Age culture that flourished on Crete from around 3000 to 1100 BC, before disappearing from history. The Minoans were one of Europe's first advanced civilizations, with magnificent palaces featuring frescoes and sophisticated plumbing, a vast trading network, exquisite artwork, and a unique hieroglyphic writing system. At the height of the Minoan civilization, the island of Crete was dotted with opulent palaces like the ones at Phaistos and Knossos. These palaces were hubs of political, religious, and economic life. At Phaistos, located on a dramatic hilltop site near the Masara Plain in southern Crete, a series of palaces were built and rebuilt over the centuries. The Minoans are named after their mythical king Minos, who was said to have constructed a labyrinth to contain the monstrous Minotaur. While the labyrinth and Minotaur are myths, archaeologists uncovered the vast mazes of rooms in the Minoan palaces which may have inspired these legends. But much about the Minoans remains shrouded in mystery. What caused the civilization's downfall around 1100 BC? Some theories point to a cataclysmic volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, modern Santorini, which may have triggered earthquakes and tsunamis. Others propose invasions, internal strife, or a perfect storm of all these factors. Equally intriguing are the Minoan writing systems known as Cretan hieroglyphs and linear A, which have never been fully deciphered. Only the later linear B script, an early form of Greek used in the Mycenaean palaces, has been cracked. Interestingly, linear A has some similarities to the enigmatic symbols stamped on the Phaistos disc. But as we'll see, many experts believe the disc contains a different writing system altogether. So what exactly is the Phaistos disc? On first glance, it appears to be a clay disc about 15 centimeters in diameter and 1 centimeter thick. Both sides are covered with a spiral of symbols, divided into groups of several symbols by vertical lines. In total, there are 241 symbols on the disc consisting of 45 unique sign types. What's remarkable is that the symbols were not individually drawn or inscribed, but rather stamped with reusable stamps called punches. This makes it one of the earliest known examples of movable type printing, long before Gutenberg's printing press. Each letter was on a separate stamp which could be reused as needed to imprint a text into soft clay, which was then fired to harden it. The stamps contain pictograms depicting recognizable objects. Some signs vaguely resemble those of linear A and B, but most are unique to the disc. The pictograms are more neatly executed and standardized than Cretan hieroglyphs. What could this array of symbols represent? The groups divided by lines suggest words, composed of letters. Most scholars believe the disc contains a text in an unknown language and writing system. But others have argued the symbols could be some kind of game or decoration, rather than an actual inscription. Dating the disc is tricky. Based on the archaeological layer in which Pernier found it, most experts believe it was made sometime between 1850 and 1600 BC, in the Middle Minoan period of the Minoan civilization. This would place it earlier than linear B, but around the same time that linear A and Cretan hieroglyphic writing were in use. But here's where it gets even more mysterious. The disc is a one-off. No other artifact bearing the same symbols has ever been found, on Crete or anywhere else. Despite over a century of searching, the Phaistos Disc remains totally unique, greatly compounding the difficulty of deciphering it. In the century since its discovery, numerous attempts have been made to decipher the Phaistos Disc, none of them conclusive. Lacking any corroborating texts or even a second example of the script makes it extremely challenging to interpret. Archaeologist and language expert Jean Fauconneau proposed the disc was a text in the Minoan language using a syllabic writing system related to linear A. He assigned sound values to the symbols by comparing them to linear B and claimed to extract Minoan roots and grammatical elements. Others have argued the disc is written in an early form of Greek. Linguist Stephen Fisher claimed it was a geometric theorem, with the words instructing how to view the diagram on the backside. Lancer Owens suggested it was a prayer to the mother goddess of Minoan religion. Numerous other decipherment attempts have ranged from the plausible to the fanciful. The disc has been labeled a hoax, a calendar, a magical incantation, a court list, an adventure story, a dynastic record, and more. But proof for these theories remains elusive. No interpretation has achieved scholarly consensus. Over 100 years after its discovery, the Phaistos Disc remains a captivating enigma. We may never know for certain what the curious symbols covering its surface were intended to convey. Short of discovering a stone inscription bearing the same script, a Rosetta Stone for the Phaistos Disc, its secrets will likely remain locked in the spiral maze of its glyphs, as inscrutable as the vanished Minoan civilization that created this tantalizing artifact. Perhaps that is part of the disc's allure. For all we have learned about the ancient world through the tireless work of archaeologists, historians, and linguists, there is still so much we have yet to understand. And so the search for answers continues. Perhaps one day we will find them. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new content when it drops. And if you would like to support the channel, consider picking up a copy of Ernest Dempsey's latest archaeological thriller, The Inventor's Tomb, through the link in the description. Thank you for watching.